Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Rachel Borntrager joining us. Excited to have our CEO and founder of, well, Whole and Well. That's what it's called, Whole and Well. Go to wholeandwellco.com and you'll find out more about all of our customized solutions to help you heal inside and out. Welcome back. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. Tell us a little bit about what you do and introduce yourself, please.
This is great. So I am Dr. Rachel Borntrager, the Gutsy Health Coach. I am Doctor of Natural Medicine. I am not a medical doctor, and I don't diagnose, treat, or cure. I help people get to their root health issues so that they can have energy to enjoy life and have it more abundantly. And what I do here is kind of a little strange to a lot of people, where we help people find out where your body has inflammation, or what's causing the inflammation, or is it slow and sluggish, like those parts of your body don't have enough energy to do its job. And then from there, we continue on to find customized nutrition to help support the body so that it can thrive and do what it's intended to do. We also have all sorts of different fun stuff, from, like I said, the customized nutrition to deep fluid management, targeting the deep interstitial space and lymphatic. And then we have a Cloud Plus, which is a PMA mat, foot detox. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun here. So I have even people that want to come and just do spa days. It's just really fun to build your health from a different perspective. I also do remote support for people, where we obviously it's going to look a little differently, and we're just adding in some new stuff. So stay tuned. Things are always evolving. We haven't fine-tuned it yet. So we've got some new testing coming up. But when I work with people distantly, we generally have conversation, do some blood testing, urine testing, saliva testing, whatever that looks like, or whatever they need. And then we customize towards that. So it's not limited to just in-house people.
Got it. Well, thank you. It's exciting to have you here. And by the way, just tell me, I know I got the website, but how else can we contact you? What are your social media handles?
Whole and Well Co. On Facebook and Instagram. And then if you want to just make a phone call, it's 406-765-7259.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. And for today, what did you kind of want to get into? I know we talked about it a little before we started.
Yeah. So if you've listened to some of the past podcasts that we've done together, we were talking about coming into the holiday season and what sugar is very detrimental to the gut. I love to study the gut, and I don't like to just say the gut as in the small and large intestine. I look at the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder, all the things. And when we look at sugar and what it can do to the gut, in the 1900s, well, the 1900s, an average family ate or consumed 5 pounds of sugar. If you were to fast forward that, we are eating per family on an average 30 times that. And so we wonder why we have such an issue with our health these days. If we were to unwind a little bit, maybe just even decreasing the sugar and looking at the sugar consumption. And the sugar is hidden in everything, literally from condiments to what they preserve foods with. It is so sugar packed. And I believe that the immune response is created, about 70% of it is created in the gut. So if we have such high inflammation from the sugar, because that sugar will cause inflammation, if we have such a cytokine going on of our body wanting to decrease the inflammation, we are going to have struggles with the immune response. So all the little viruses or all the little things that come into play, our gut is going to struggle, because first of all, it's working on getting inflammation. It wants you to live. And then it's not going to have the reserve to help fight those viruses and colds and flus.
Amazing. Wow. Because all you hear is gut health, gut health, gut health. It's like the hottest thing, you hear, but no one ever describes it or explains it. They say take probiotics, and it's just so hard to understand. So I like that we're breaking this down today. Keep going. Bring it on.
Well, I kind of get on a bandwagon with it. I truly believe pre and probiotics are amazing. However, if you have such a toxic load and have such high inflammation and take probiotics, there's going to be potentially some discomfort and increased issues because your body doesn't have
Okay.
the ability to get rid of the toxins. Maybe your lymphatic is super congested. Well, if that's the case, it's not going to get that inflammation
Hmm.
out properly. And then you throw in these new pre and probiotics, which are amazing. However, if you don't have those exits open, it's going to cause you more discomfort and harm at that moment.
Interesting.
And even just kind of piggybacking on that, some challenges for your gut is if your gut is not balanced, your sleep is not going to be
Okay.
the greatest. And just cutting back some of your refined sugars, you may notice that there is better sleep. And when there's better sleep, you're going to feel better the next day because all of your organs regenerate during your sleep. So if people are literally not getting to bed before midnight, you have anywhere up to 3 to 4 hours of regeneration of organ time that hasn't regenerated, which then causes more inflammation. And then it's kind of just this spiral of, I don't feel good, so I'm going to eat something to keep me going. And then it's the sugary, then you need the caffeine, and,
Yeah.
the story goes on and on. And so just taking some steps back, kind of like literally rewinding, you're not going to stop overnight having sugar because sugar is such an addictive
Addiction.
thing. It
Yep.
is as addictive as some drugs out there. And if we're not careful, our body is always requesting that fill of all the neural hormones because it will destruct the
Yep.
pathways to the brain. So if we just minimize it piece by piece, decreasing, increase your water, fill that habit with something else so that your body can thrive.
Yep. And I mean, for
Yeah.
those of us that had a lot of sugar, a lot of dessert last week, I mean, it's like a crash and burn, right? Because you feel so good. The next day, though, I feel like even though you feel so crappy from it, you do it again. Is that the addicting quality of sugar?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, like I said, just really amp up the hydration, making sure that you are getting good quality water, making sure your minerals are adequate, because one of the things that sugar does, it with the disruption in the gut, it leaches out the ability for you to absorb the nutrition from your actual foods.
Hmm.
So if you're not getting them, your body thinks that it's starving, so then it's going to store it as fat. So a lot of us women that have going through the changes of life, we go from having our hormones created in our ovaries to then created in our adrenals, which are right above our kidneys in our mid back. Um, and not only do we have to deal with then the stress of life, but then we have
Yeah.
to manage the hormone situation. And then
Hmm.
you throw in all these extra inflammatory things such as sugar. Your body's like on freak out mode. And so just putting decreasing some of the inflammation, so decreasing some of the sugar. There is other alternatives for sugar, and I have. If you go to my website, the Ditch the Sugar course is on there, and we go into real kind of deep detail about all the different sugars. And I'm not going to say one is better than the other for alternative because everyone is different. That's why if you were to work with me, we can have those conversations and find out what would best work for you, because not everybody responds to things different. I mean, they all respond differently. um so just making sure that we have our sweet tooth um got its you know joy for the moment, but managing how we continue on with that. So looking at Are we methylating properly? Are there toxins that are disrupting that methylation so that we're not getting that nutrition, so that we can create the hormones, so we can, it's kind of like such a unique whole body experience, because we're all not just, that's why I like to do what I do, because we look at the whole person and not just piece by piece.
Mm-hmm. So true. And let's remind everyone at this point how we can reach out to you again, Rachel.
So check out my website, wholeandwellco.com, and all social media platforms at Whole and Well Co. And then if you want to just give me a call, 406-765-7259.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. What else did you want to share? You mentioned this is your last show today with us. Is that true?
That is what I have been told.
Well, missed you. It's been a good run, but so clearly as the last show and being so impactful with what you do, what else did you want to add for the agenda today?
Which is really like to encourage people to take their own health into their own hands, because first of all, no one cares about you like you do, or your family,
True.
first of all, and you know your body best.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we get busy and we get into the hustle and bustle of holidays or whatever, and we always perform even more. Like, we always think that we have to do more and more and more. That may not be the case. It might be a time to just sit back and be present, pay attention to your body, pay attention to what you need, so that you can be fulfilled, because literally you know what's best for you if you just take the time to listen.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of us don't do that, especially around the holidays. But we got to start. We can always start. It's never too late, right?
It's never too, you're never too old. I just seen a little post yesterday on, like, a lot of people that did amazing things, like even Ford, that he didn't start until he was in his 40s, and
Really?
he, look at him, what he's done and accomplished, and his legacy for years to come. It's never too late.
I agree. I agree. All right. And the work you're doing, I love hearing the stories of the people you're helping. Could you share one or two of them as well?
Absolutely. So one of the, I'm going to pick on a little guy. He was 14 months when it was kind of like a journey, relative of mine, that he had an anaphylactic reaction to dairy. And we totally, obviously you want to get him out of that super high inflammatory response. Did the traditional route and got him, stabilized, but then they couldn't give us answers to why he kept having inflammation and allergy responses to different things. So we found a doctor that does what I do, actually, and he was willing to help us get to those root health issues and find out what the cause was, help him to build up his gut microbiome so that he can then, years to come, thrive. And he did not have, I mean, he got his sister's milk glass the other day, and he didn't have an anaphylactic reaction. He did have a small reaction, but it wasn't like that super anaphylactic. Make sure you've got the EpiPen. Um, so that is one of the, I mean, he's my why, to be real honest, because if we couldn't help our own family, how can we help other people? So that is one of my reasons of why I do what I do.
Oh, beautiful. We love hearing this. And it's always good to reach out and to know that, I love hearing these stories. It makes me so happy. And to help people lose weight, to help people be on this journey of feeling good. And I always say, and I thank COVID for the good to come out
Mm.
of it, for us to start caring, to realize our health is important and there's something we could do about it and take the reins. So the good to come out of it is the fact that I think a lot of us are learning to appreciate our life, our body, and realizing let's live the best life we can because life is so vulnerable. And so I love this stuff. I do, I do, I do. What else is on the agenda, Rachel? Oh my
Goodness, what should we talk about? Um, Well, going back to the sugar and how it can disrupt the microbiome and steal the nutrition, which then leads to the gut being malnourished. And then the ability for toxins to come in. We're not able to fight off those viruses. We're not able to fight off even, let's be real, there's parasites. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, we're the country that we live in, we don't have parasites. I hear that all the time. But that is one of my biggest things that I work with people is really getting their gut cleaned up, looking at the parasites and getting rid of parasites so that they can actually get the nutrition, they can have the minerals, and they're not all over the board of like one day we're super inflamed and the next day we're super dehydrated because of how the gut is eliminating.
Yep.
But
Yep.
really finding that balance and getting rid of toxins is a big deal. And I hear a lot of people are like, well, where do you start? Since we're on the sugar topic, let's just say eliminate sugar first of all, and then bring in some, when I say pre and probiotics, it can be real food. And the fact of like using the fermented foods. So make sure that they're cold packed, like kimchi and sauerkraut. Yogurt, I want to caution people on because a lot of yogurt is packed in sugar. So read the labels, read the labels. I can't stress that enough. So really being mindful of that, but looking at the like Greek yogurts, you can add in your own sweetener that you like, again, being mindful of what it's doing to your body. So pay attention. It
Yep.
comes back to like, really pay attention to how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And
My back's
um,
hurting. I'm thinking too much. Yep.
I really liked when I lost my 70 pounds, I journaled like crazy lady, where I really, everything that went in my mouth, good, bad, or indifferent, it was wrote down. And with that, I was able to then see, first of all, what nutrition I was getting in, what macronutrition, and then also going down the rabbit trail of like, is it actually fuel for my body? Am I getting the balance of protein
Mhm.
and carbs and fats, or am I just in the moment of wanting to self-sabotage and give myself that pleasure?
My goodness. And what is the key to staying with it and keeping it off? Do we still work with you? Do you come back for checkups? Like, how does that work because some people do
That's
go
such a
back.
good question. That's such a good question. Everyone is differently. I have from a 3-month program that we work together, or even to a year. And then I have people that work with me for 2 and 3 years, just because the fact that life does happen, things do happen, stress happens. And how do we work with that in our own body? I'm just actually I'm going to be real vulnerable. I'm going through an issue in my own life that I have allowed stress to kind of consume me for a moment. And then it was like, okay, Rachel, wake up. Let's take care of some stuff, because you're not going to get rid of life. You're not going to get rid of the situations that come your way. It's how you handle it, how you process it, and what you
Yep.
do about it. So there are things
So
that you just
true.
have to take a moment and pause. And it's not like you can have to do a whole
Mhm.
360, just pause and pivot and figure out what your goal is. Maybe your goal isn't what it used to be. And really looking and analyzing that. But I have people that work with me throughout the times, from a 3 month to a year, but then sometimes there's like a space between that, and then they come back and we have that consult again, have that visit and look at and analyze it. Where do they want my support? How can I support them so that they can be the person they're meant to be?
Hmm. Beautifully said. All right. And in our last 5 minutes for today, if someone is interested in talking, do you offer initial free consultation for someone? How important is that?
Absolutely. First of all, I like to have people I give people 20 minutes of my time to see, first of all, if it is something that they're even looking for, because I only want to be somebody's best idea ever. And if they have a better idea, go do that, because it's not worth spending money on something I do when they have a better idea. So the first 20 minutes, and we can extend that as time goes, but the first 20 minutes is free, and you just have to go to my website, book a free consult, or give me a call at the 406-765-7259, and we can book that time as well. But it's very important for me to know that, first of all, people want my help, because I don't want to be pulling someone along. I want them to have the power to change.
Yeah, got it. And some other work that you do. Do you want to elaborate on something else?
Goodness, I would love to. So one of the new things that we got in the office, the newest thing is Brain Tap. And I don't know if you've heard of that or not, but Brain Tap is such an amazing an addition. First of all, it's an app driven, and it's got over 2,000 different programs you can find. And then it also has the headset that you can invest in, which is an investment. But what it does, it has meditations and music, and I even have the heart rate variability, so we can actually see what stress is doing to your body, doing to your brain, what brain waves you are in right now. And then Brain Tap, even 20 minutes of doing Brain Tap. So it's a meditation and a relaxation music. But from the initial scan of heart rate variability, we were able to see where your brain waves are. So if you are in high delta and you should be in like a theta, we can do some theta training. And a lot of times if people have had brain issues or brain injuries, their brain just doesn't go the way that it is created for. So just doing some additional training in your brain with the music, with the meditations specifically for that, it really can change your brave waves. And we can then prove that by doing the heart rate variability and seeing how it changed, how the stress level is. And because I have it, I like to play around with things and see, on this particular program, the stress level should not be over 100. I will then like do things in a stressful event, just for fun, honestly. And then I go and scan myself. And one of the events I did, it was over 600.
Wow.
But within 30 minutes later, after the recovery, doing some training on my brain, I literally was able to bring it less than 100.
Amazing.
So just paying attention, and brain is so important, and brain gut connection, the vagus nerve, I think it's all connected. And if there's any injury anywhere in your body, there's going to be inflammation. So trying to figure out how to manage all of that and bring it back into balance.
Got it. Beautiful. And unfortunately, we must get moving. Rachel, if we do want to reach out for this consultation, share one more time how we could reach you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and all the services that you offer. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. So go to my website, wholeandwellco.com, and go to the drop down on the resources and book a free consult, or give me a call at 406-765-7259. I can't wait to talk.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day to all of our listeners. Stay tuned. I won't say goodbye. I'll say till next time. Talk to you soon, Rachel.
Yes.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home.
that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.